I'd like to welcome Dylan to this episode of Crossing the Streams.
Hello. We need like a clapping track in the background.
He's just giggling over there. Welcome to Crossing the Streams, Dylan. How are you doing, man?
Superb, absolutely great. How are you, Amor?
I'm doing awesome. And your Twitch handle though is ManiacalZ.
Yes.
So
I know what's coming. You always ask people where it came from.
I do. Not always, but it comes up almost half the time.
Oh, mine's super dumb.
Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to open with that? Or do you want to open with who you are and what you do?
I am an IT guy. Graduated from Oklahoma State with a management in science and information systems. And so I took that and I immediately got hired by a company in Kansas City. So I moved from Stillwater, Oklahoma to Kansas City, worked there for 6 years doing system engineering, system administration, and got laid off and got another gig doing system administration. And that's kind of where I am right now. So that's my professional. That's sort of like my on paper resume degree related life. What I do outside of that is usually streaming, just voice work. I'm a big plant guy. I go out with my friends here in Kansas City, most of which are in chat right now. But mostly just I'm at this desk a lot. Either I'm working from home here, or I'm doing some sort of streaming here, or I'm doing voice stuff here, or when they have me in the office, I'm in the office, which is an unfortunate circumstance for everyone involved.
They don't call you in unless they absolutely have to. Is that?
We have to go. We do right now. We do 2 weeks in the office and then 2 weeks at home. Me and one guy, we just switch every 2 weeks.
You have to be there. Got
to be there to watch 3 tickets a day. Amazing. So I like streaming a lot more.
What can someone expect when tuning into your channel?
I kind of tell this a lot of people whenever I get like a big raid is there's never anything really, like there's no one game to be expected in my stream. I keep an Excel spreadsheet and I think I've beaten 80 plus different games.
Yeah.
So, and that goes between, a short hike, Gris, Doom, Xenoblade 2. I'm working on Xenoblade 3 and Splatoon 3 at the moment. So it kind of just goes to anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we do like some more multiplayer focused stuff. Like we played Fall Guys last week. Sometimes we do a Mario Kart or a Mario Party. So a lot of the people in my Discord, they're either Kansas City local or they're people I've known for years. And so we just play a lot of games together. And we always, welcome people in if they're playing. Like if I'm playing Smash, I used to play Smash Bros. Ultimate a lot, and got some people from there from playing that in the Discord. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So it's very eclectic. It's a very eclectic situation. In my stream usually, depending on what I'm playing.
So it's very variety. It's got
very variety.
Yeah, you do all kinds of games.
I do Lego.
And you do, I was going to say, and you do Lego.
That's because of you. You got me into it.
This is my fault, apparently.
Most of my streaming career is explicitly your fault.
I was about to refute that, but possibly, I don't think I can really deny it.
No, you can't.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, no, it's amazing.
I
am not a paid shill by more and more. I just love the guy, and he's done a lot more for me than I think he realizes.
Really?
I even tried to meet him once at San Diego Comic-Con, and he wasn't there.
I was there, but I was in the middle of
he had some
working
meeting or actually a job.
Fine,
that's your excuse. A job,
dude. I tried. Do you want to talk about your name first?
Oh God, is it embarrassing?
Okay.
So speaking of Lego, you know what's really rad?
What?
Bionicle. So this is how we're starting. Okay.
Yeah.
So there used to be, I don't even know if it's still an actual website. It was a forum way back when called BZ Power, right? It was a Bionicle forum. And I was like, I don't know, 10, 9. I don't know. Probably shouldn't have been on the internet. But I was really, really, really into playing games like Smash Bros. Melee. And one of my first username that wasn't just like a Dylan insert number or whatever they give you for a basic username. And I was like, oh, cool, Melee Master. That's me because I love Smash Bros. Melee and I'm so good at it. And then later I learned I wasn't that good at it. So I just I'm a fraud. So I changed it to Melee Maniac. After a while, I said, it'd be funny, Maniacal Maniac. Because it's just you can do that sort of thing with so many words. I can't think of any at the moment. but
But you
but I was
promised
like, yeah.
that.
So like Maniacal Maniac,
Yeah.
and then my cousin got an Xbox 360, and we were playing all the Halos and all the Gears of Wars and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I constantly used those 2-week free trials, or like the 1-month free trials, Xbox Live, just by doing a random username. So it was like Maniacal Space Maniac, Maniacal Maniac, Maniacal X Maniac. And then I got my own Xbox, and I could actually maintain my own Xbox account, and that was ManiacalZ Maniac. So
Yeah.
you'll actually still find like breadcrumbs of ManiacalZ Maniac in random places, but now it's mostly ManiacalZ. I just dropped the Maniac, and now it's just ManiacalZ. I
That's
told you it's
amazing.
a stupid chronology of how I
And
got this name.
and somehow we're here. And did you ever think about like changing the name or updating it or
No,
doing a name? No,
nah, can't do that. I'm too deep in that, man. I can't do that.
it's fine. Yeah, you've come too far, is what you're saying.
And I have a story, and then I don't want to have all of this lineage and then just change something to, like, I don't know, Pigeon Dude. It doesn't make any sense.
Is that
It has to be related to something the whole way. I had like
is it?
stupid symbols, like I had pluses, and it was like plus melee equals master plus, because everyone was on a V bulletin forum when they were growing up.
Right.
Like some kind of niche hobby interest thing. People watching, Naruto AMVs to Linkin Park songs, stuff like that. That was the era, as was the style at the time. So
If you could change it, what would you change it to? Have you thought about that?
no, not
No.
even a lie. I just
Okay.
straight up haven't.
All right.
Maniacal pigeons, something, I don't know, probably plant related. I don't know, Lego. There's gonna be a lot of Bionicle talk on this.
Far more than I actually had expected. So, I mean, I expected some Bionicle because it's you,
Yeah,
but
but
I
then you're
didn't
like, oh,
expect.
username.
Yeah, username. I did not know that. So I'm glad, dude. I'm glad that I know this story now.
I
Um,
like the name Maniacal Z. It's fun. There was like a person here in Kansas City that said I should like act more like a shtick, like use the word maniacal, or like act crazy or whatever. I was
oh,
like, I don't
like a
like that.
character streamer.
Yeah, I don't want to be a character streamer. I just want to be some dude that plays games. I mean, look. I'm a white dude with a beard and glasses, and I'm blonde. I offer literally nothing to the table. I am the most cookie cutter streamer you can find. I'm not exactly swinging for the fences here. So
Wow.
it's just Maniacal Z. Just I'm gonna be a dude. Whoever wants to hang out for my personality, they're welcome to.
I mean, I respect it. I think, I think that's great that you actually, stuck with it regardless of just anything. You're at the point where you're like, I've come too far. This is my name.
I have stickers.
The branding.
I
You
bought
can't.
too many stickers. I can't change it now. I am financially invested. I got shirts. Sunk
You
cost, man. Can't do that.
you're full on branded.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Variety streamer, occasional Lego builder, because you wanted to talk about how much I've impacted your stream career. But what I would love to do, I would love to hear kind of what got you there to begin with. Like what
Yeah.
brought you to Twitch?
Late 2015, early 2016. I started my job in August of 2015 in a apartment in downtown Kansas City. I didn't know anyone. I didn't do a
Mhm.
whole lot of activities. Mostly trying to maintain I did like very light cosplay. It wasn't anything huge because I was going to San Diego Comic-Con and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there's either that, or I was also doing Smash Bros for Wii U tournaments, because that's where I found my first little bit of kind of community where I can hang out with friends in Kansas City,
Mhm.
was the Kansas City Smash community. So I was doing that for a while, and then in February of 2016, I walk into a Micro Center, because we have one here in Kansas City, thank God, and I walked past an Elgato HD60S or Pro, whichever one was the PCI card one,
Right.
and it was on sale.
Right.
And I stared at it and I thought, yeah, I could start streaming.
You're
That was
right.
it.
You're like, man walks by, capture card.
Yeah, I am not even exaggerating a bit. I saw it, it was on sale, and I bought it, and then I took it home. And the camera I use is actually what I use for the behind cam for my Lego streams today. It's like a Microsoft Life Cam HD5, some horrid name.
Mhm.
And it's from like 2009. It's like a 2009 camera. And I had that pointed at me in a dull, dimly lit apartment with no lighting, and I had a Logitech headset, like a call center Logitech kind of headset with like a pull down mic. I didn't know anything about audio at the time, so I played the audio through my speakers on my monitor so I can hear it. And then I put down like the headphones on my shoulders and had the mic like flipped up. It was jank. And I actually still have this recording. Like I have saved,
Oh,
I've done
dude.
1,229 streams as of today. I have every single one saved. I have 3 terabyte hard drives. And like most things, I'm in too deep to stop. So I can't stop record. I can either delete them all or keep on going. There is no in between.
What do you do with all those recordings then?
Nothing. That's the issue. I tried to upload them
Dude.
all on YouTube in bulk,
Yeah.
and you can only upload 15 at a time.
I don't think I know anyone who still has 100% of their stream footage. You're the only person I know. You have everything.
It's absurd. I have everything.
Do you ever go back and rewatch some of that stuff?
I like so actually there was a one guy I met through Superfight called British. It's not that he is British, his name is Britain. You might remember him.
Mhm.
Now he's known as the Heartful Dodger. And I found like the night I met him just going through just my old VODs.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to do that sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's impossible for me to go through each and every one of them and like scan 4-hour streams for something, but I just wanted to find out when it was because him and I were talking, and it's like, yeah, I have the recording of the exact moment I met someone. I probably have you on there too.
That's amazing. So one day you're in a micro center, you see a capture card, you decide I could do that.
I need to bide my time with something that, and then
Right.
I had to wrestle with deciding after I got into it a bit, what did I really want to do?
Yeah.
And I figured I would do the one that was the least costly, because
Mhm.
let's be real, I wasn't winning Smash Bros tournaments because man, there are good people in Kansas City at that. So I went to spend $10 to get my butt kicked pretty much every week. Cosplay is very expensive. And again, new job, new salary and stuff like that. I was trying to maintain something that would, not have me go out and spend a whole bunch of money all the time.
Right.
And so I started streaming just in my apartment.
So what was the game choice? Did you go straight to Smash Bros? Is what
Yeah.
to stream?
Yeah, so Smash Bros for Wii U for a bit, just playing online. And then it just started slowly just branching on whatever the new Nintendo game was at the time or something I got on my PC.
So then, you start playing other games, and then you told I guess this is where my question comes in of you saying I had something to do with your history of being, a streamer and getting started. I would love to hear your side of the story on how all that goes, because I know how I was involved, but I would love to hear like you tell it to someone who doesn't know the context of how Maniacal and more met, but more so like how that shaped your streaming career.
I don't know how I found it actually. So the game in question is Super Fight. And for those that are unaware of what Super Fight is, it is a card game, character cards and attribute cards. And so you and someone else play your combination of what you feel is the strongest competitor. And then the next thing that happens is you draw a random second attribute that will either help or hinder you. And then you and the other person argue to death about who would win in a fight. And there was a rip.
Yeah.
Absolute F in chat for Super Fight. But there was a PC version made by Amore. And I played it a lot for such a unfortunately short-lived game. Because with Super Fight, yeah, I put in like 50 hours in that game.
Wow.
I love that game. And so the PC version allowed you to play with other people, randoms, but as well as include your Twitch chat as to who would vote on who would win in a fight. And so I have actually found so many people through this, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
And the one I was talking about mainly was British or Heartful Dodger. And that's actually how I found, or BC Audio and Chatter, Bearded Corvus. explicitly because of you, Amor, I now send cookies every Christmas to Corvus. Every year.
That's amazing.
I've done it for like 4 years now.
Brought people together. I love it.
It's good times. I've met some spectacular people.
It's a really great story, and you've been doing this a while. It's been what, 5 years now?
About 6. Yeah, just
Yeah.
over 6, I believe. This year, so H Palindrome and we actually went to a wedding reception of someone I met on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah. In North Carolina. I live in Missouri. Like,
so you've met tons of people through like Twitch and internet and like.
Oh, absolutely. So, but Kansas City on its own has a really big Twitch community. And so a lot of people that I regularly interact with today, like Snozberries, I met through these Twitch meetups. So you got Lloyd the Yeti, you got Snozberries, and like those are the main two that I really took attention to after like I started going to these Twitch meetups.
Yeah.
And it's just and like Snozberries, I consider him one of my closest friends. Like he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And it's because of Twitch.
I guess my question to you is, after 6 years, what keeps you streaming? Like, what keeps you doing this? Because I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, and truthfully, my growth has stagnated. I've been at 1,700 to 1,800 in between there for like 2 years now. I'm trying not to look at it like that. There are times where I just took off streaming for a bit. Last year I had my dark times where I was, laid off for 8 months and stuff like that. And I was doing a whole bunch of job hunting and searching and all that. So I didn't stream nearly as much. It didn't really matter because so many of the people that tune into my Twitch stream, they also are in my Discord.
Yeah.
And so I was able to maintain that contact, that momentum with these people that I see regularly, either in person or I talk to regularly on Discord. So just as for what keeps me going is that there's really no detriment to me if I want to play a game, just hitting that go live button. Maybe I'll meet a new person that I might go to their wedding reception to or something like that. You never know.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will meet someone that developed the game that I'm playing and talk to them for 6 years. I don't know. So there's Twitch is this weird just sea of odd circumstances that can just bring random people together, and they might make absolutely long-lasting friendships.
How do you think that has happened so consistently for you over the last 6 years?
I wish I knew the secret. Apparently, I'm really good at it.
Yeah. And maybe there is no answer. Maybe there is no answer.
I don't think it's me specifically, because people that usually interact with me end up also interacting with 3 or 4 other people. We have a lot of Venn diagram circles, and so our communities kind of just like hop around and stuff like that, and our friends. And so I don't think it's me in particular. I think it's the people that have just interacted with my circle over time. So like I might be a catalyst to that, but I don't think I'm the only part of that.
I feel like you've just been able to, and I found that super fascinating. Part of the reason why I actually invited you, that you've been able to make these connections, and I think it speaks to your character as a person. But I think that's really amazing. Do you think part of it has to do with in the Kansas City there is a thriving like Twitch like meetup community? Do you think that's part of it too, or do you think that is?
Well, it does. So that the whole Twitch community definitely helps, but we also have KC Game On, and it's a pretty big event in the gaming space, in my opinion. I don't go there nearly enough, but I feel like that also helps a lot. There's also, when you go to KC Game On, you even have streaming rooms you can rent. It's just it is a big thing around here. Just gaming on its own. We have an esports arena now.
So what do you enjoy most about streaming then? Like what
I play so many different games. Like so many. I get to experience so many different things.
Yeah.
And I have people that will just tune into my stream because they don't want to have to play the whole game.
Yeah.
And they just want to live the story vicariously, just for, keeping up with the story. Or I like to think that when you have a streamer, you go there for the game initially, but you stay for the streamer's personality or whatever they have to offer. Just through streaming, I do experience so many different forms of art, in my opinion. I think video games are absolutely absurd now in terms of their art direction and their creativity. Just the people I get to meet through that, because I've been talking about that, the whole episode so far is all the people I've met and the experience I've had through that. But
When you're when you're streaming and you're getting to know all these people, is there ever anything that has really kind of turned you off to the whole thing?
nothing that has really just made me say I'm done.
Right.
Or maybe even remotely think that I'm done. Because, well, like I said earlier, since I play a lot of games,
Mhm.
sometimes I'll just hit the go live button.
I think that you absolutely are truly almost neutral in terms of like how you feel about like hitting the start, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are
It's
like,
not a job yet. Yeah.
right, right. You don't. It sounds like you don't want it to be a job.
If I were to ever get enough like like income for that from streaming,
Yeah.
so I've had on my bio for a while. I'm pretty sure it's still on there because I wanted to do a charity, like be a charity streamer for the longest time.
Right.
But in order to become a charity streamer, ideally you need to have the capital to contribute. You need to have the viewership
I
to
don't
kind
agree
of
with that.
justify that.
I don't agree
I
with
know I
that.
know you don't. I know you
I
don't.
100%
But
don't agree with that.
so
We'll
what I
we'll
do
talk
right
about it
now
when you
is
after you make your point. Go ahead.
so with me, so whenever what the what you get from your viewers, your subs, your bits and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
use that exclusively on the stream,
Right.
pretty much. So
Right.
anything I get from the stream goes back in this in some capacity, whether it be games or lighting or like a new
Lego.
microphone or something like that, or Lego. That
Yeah.
tree house that was donated to me. All right.
Yeah.
But and so for charity streaming, I want to be able to have the ability to make an impact. But I
Mhm.
know what you're thinking, and I get it. I get it.
Mm.
I get it.
What am I thinking, friendo? What am I
You're
thinking?
you're you're thinking that you don't need to have a large following or viewership to make an impact.
100%.
And you're right.
I
And
am.
I'm an idiot.
What's that?
So that's what you
What's it
weren't
more?
counting on.
I
But it's just I'm trying to grow to the point where I say try to. I
sure.
stream to stream. If I grow to a point where I can feel like I can have like this big tidal wave of impact,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I would want.
Yeah.
Because I feel like slow. This sounds weird. I feel like slow growth doesn't really garner attention as someone that came out of nowhere that has the following to do a charity stream.
Sure.
I could be entirely wrong. I'm also in an interview process and I'm panicking and saying words that I don't know. So
Look. I'll give you my
yeah,
perception of it only because I disagree,
because you're a charity streamer.
and I'm a chair. I mean, I don't officially market myself as a charity streamer, but I feel like if I wanted to, I could. In that I've raised probably,
Yeah,
I haven't done the math with this most recent charity, but I want to say I raised over $15,000 to $16,000 over the last couple of
that
years
is
for
absurd.
for
That's
different
awesome.
charities. And I don't have a big community, and I don't even if you factor in the fact that I become more active and involved with the Lego brick building community, which, like, to speak on that briefly, they're a very active and charitable, generous group. So like
I
any
love them. I've built like 4 things on stream so far, and there's always someone that comes in and they're the most positive person I've ever seen.
yeah,
Just random people off the streets of Twitch talking about
yeah,
Lego. I love them.
yeah, dude. I want to talk about that in a bit. But even if you take that out, I would say me with my small channel, I feel like if that's something you would want to do more of, I don't think anything would stop you, honestly.
Yeah.
I really do. Because people, especially when you find things, I think the key is, because if I were to offer any advice to anyone on this sort of thing, the key is finding a charitable cause that you have a personal connection to, or
I
that means something to you.
I have one directly in mind, but I don't want to like
Yeah,
say it explicitly out loud
sure.
to call out like a member of chat.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. No worries. But I just want to say, I think that regardless of size, I think if someone wanted to be a charity streamer, they could very well do it. It just takes some, I think it just takes some planning, a cause
Yeah.
that you really are passionate about, and then just putting on a nice event. It has to be just it has to be some people do it differently. I prefer, because some people will take a whole month, and that's fine. I like to kind of make it like a special, if anything, a week, if that, where it's like, here's this week, 2 to 3 streams. We're gonna do some fundraising, or if you really want to make an event, hey, I'm gonna do like a 12-hour stream or whatever. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be 24 hours. I'm gonna
I
emphasize that it
People
doesn't
that do
have to be
24-hour streams, man.
it doesn't have to be that, in my opinion.
I work
Although,
12-hour shifts. There's no way I'm doing a 24-hour stream.
yeah,
People
yeah,
that do that, man, like, good on you, but I can't do that. And
yeah,
see, that's another kind of like a segue is I kind of losing my schedule a little bit on
yeah,
streaming because this new gig I got, it's pardon me, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for 3 days and then
yeah.
4 days off.
Mm,
And then for 4 days and then 3 days off. So either I get home at 7, I exist for half an hour, and then I stream
mm,
for 2 to 3 hours and go to bed and do it all again the next day.
yeah,
Or I get on my days off and I use a bit of that to stream, and it's a lot more able, but I don't want to feel like I should need to stream, you know?
yeah,
Because sometimes I'm just tired, man. And that never translates well to streams. Your energy, like your stream energy is you.
yeah,
If you're exhausted and tired and irritable, your stream's going to be exhausted and tired and irritable, whether you try
yeah,
to put up a facade or not.
yeah.
People in your chat that have known you for years will know. I just need to work on a schedule. With this job that I have currently, it's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit. So that's why I stream when I'm able to. So it's nothing consistent or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but I do love streaming
Right.
regardless.
I think that's, I actually have dealt with that myself earlier this year, where I didn't feel like I really had the energy or the scheduled, like the block of time, that would
Yeah.
make a real stream. I would get an hour here or there, and I would say
It
that's
takes an
not enough
hour for
time.
people to show up,
It
half the
usually
time.
does. It takes like at least, gosh, I don't know how great the data is on it, and I'd love to see more, but I do remember some folks who look at the analytics of Twitch say that most streams don't even reach what you would consider peak average viewership for their channels until at least 2 to 3 hours.
I
Mo-
usually do like 4. Like
yeah,
most of the time I'm 3.5 to 4 hours. But man, whew, after a while, there was a time back whenever I worked for my last company, it was an 8 to 5,
yeah,
and I would get home, eat a food, and stream for 4 hours and go to bed. I was going on it like crazy. Now it's I've kind of calmed down a little bit because I'm also
right,
doing voice work now, which doesn't
yeah,
take a whole ton of time, honestly, depending on the project. Because there's a lot of here's the thing about small voice projects is only like 10% of them work.
mm,
More often than not, the person that makes a project loses interest, or they can't pay their people, or they don't have the time for it, and the project just goes to the wayside.
mm,
And it sucks. Like I have a folder on my Discord about all my voice work, and half of those are dead, and it
wow,
sucks because I really like the project. So I do my regular job, my voice work, and my streaming, and then my social life,
mm-hmm,
which thankfully a lot of my social life bleeds into streaming. Like Splatoon 3 just came out, so I'm playing that with friends and stuff like that.
yeah,
So it's a lot of work-life balance. And having 4 days off in a row helps a lot,
yeah.
but you don't want to feel like on your days off you have to stream. It sucks to say it, but I got to follow the money because I got a mortgage. So
What would you tell someone that wants to make something out of streaming, but does have the lack of either time or energy and a normal job? How would you advise them to proceed?
if they're just starting, you got to start really, really, really slow, in my opinion. Like, you don't got to be like me and just dive into it for 3 to 4 hours a night.
Right.
But you have to look after yourself largely, because it's your own mental health, it's your own physical health. And if you just burn all of your existing hours into like a side hobby, you're going to
Hmm.
get burned out of that hobby really quick. So I feel
Absolutely.
like largely you should take things a little bit slower when getting into a hobby, because we all have like hyper fixations. Like, you're
Yeah.
really into something for a short time and you buy all this stuff, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, and now you're saddled with all this hobbyist stuff that you can't do anything with because you're no longer interested in it. So you gotta. I feel like if you get like a simple mic, simple webcam, something like that. Nothing. You don't go for like a whole audio interface. You don't go all whole hog just for trying out streaming. You start small, start slow, and don't burn yourself out. Absolutely
Yeah.
do not burn yourself out, because it will happen.
Is that the same advice you would have given to yourself if
Oh, absolutely.
you'd been able to?
Absolutely, because it would have prepared me for these work shifts a lot better. Of feeling like of having the necessity of I need to stream.
Right.
And I've had that a lot over the years of I need to stream, because you have momentum whenever you stream a lot of nights consistently, and
Hmm.
you take a break and you will lose that momentum, because people that go to see you every night, every other night, work on your schedule. Suddenly you're not there, and they don't see you as often. You lose momentum. Just you gotta build up to consistency, and of course, if that is what you want to mainly do
Right.
on the side of your current job, or if you want to make that your current job.
Right. Do you have anyone on Twitch that you aspire to be like, or that inspires you to keep doing this?
I love LV Yeti. So he's this young buck that I like. He looks to me as his mentor, and now I just aspire to have the energy that he has. These young people, man, these young 20, 21 year olds and all their energy. I'm almost 30. And but he's primarily a Valorant streamer. He's played a lot of things over the years,
Yeah.
but he has, in my opinion, one of the best communities on Twitch. I love LV Yeti.
Yeah.
And it's just what he's moving up north to live with his girlfriend and all that up in Canada land, moving from here. Like, dude's living a life.
Yeah.
Dude's just doing everything. Like, I love him. He's an absolutely great kid.
Yeah.
And he's probably my most favorite person on Twitch. His energy, his personality, his community, his stream overall, like the quality of his stream is really good. He is a very, very good streamer. And I
Yeah.
told him, like, the day I met him, I said, "You're gonna go far in this. Like, I know you're gonna go far in this."
Yeah.
And he like regularly sits on like a couple of hundred subs and all that, gets like 30 viewers. Like, dude's doing absolutely fantastic. I love his
Yeah.
streams.
So you and I mean, we touched on this earlier, the whole Lego thing in the Lego community. Now, I wanted to get your take on all this because you started doing your own thing as a variety streamer. I mean, you're still a variety streamer, but then you've incorporated Lego into some streams. Your Lego and brick building adjacent. What are your thoughts as someone who isn't widely involved directly with the brick building community on that community? What, from what you've seen, what you know, how do you feel about it? Because I want to hear somewhat outsider's point of view on the whole thing.
So, as someone that wasn't really in the brick building community,
Yeah.
but part of your community, I feel like whenever I did my first brick building stream, I got a lot of people from you, because I think you rated me once.
Mm.
And so, as a person that isn't in the brick building community, they make you feel like you're in the brick building community. They're like, there's
Yeah.
never anything like bad that happened the entire time I was doing it. There's no one being snobby about it or anything like that. No, the brick builders on Twitch are awesome. I love them.
Yeah.
They are just people that want to just come by and listen to some brick snaps with some music in the background.
Brick snaps. Yeah.
One of the things that I love doing is turning on my Echo, and I love that.
Sounds great. It sounds great.
Just
Yeah.
snapping these two together. I love them.
Yeah. Did
But
you
no, brick builders on Twitch, they're awesome. I love them.
was there anything like you felt like you had to do to kind of differently when you stream Lego or brick building, any of that stuff? Do you feel
Um,
like you have to do anything different, or uh, does it change your experience at all as a streamer?
Not really. It's kind of like a just chatting, but
Yeah,
you're also building Lego. So yeah, people in chat talking about their day or a random topic. You're sitting there and just building a whole bunch of bricks together, and you're just talking the way through it. Because I hadn't built Lego in a while
yeah,
because I didn't really have the money to do so. Now I have the money to do so. The
right.
amount of building techniques that are in Lego nowadays are absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Just the orchid flower itself has so much absurdity in it, and I
yeah,
love it. And so just like, you always have something to talk about when you're building Lego. You have the only thing I really had to do different is extra camera angles because
sure.
that's necessary. One for me, one for one angle for the thing, and another for the other angle just for fun.
Yeah,
But from a regular just chatting stream, it's really no different. You don't need to pretend that you know a whole lot about something because it's Lego. It's just fun. It's a passive building hobbyist activity that's really therapeutic to me. It makes me feel like a kid.
I love the act of streaming Lego because, like you said, it's not different than a just chatting stream. Really, at the core of it, you have an excuse to talk about Lego, though. Like if you run out of
Yeah.
things to talk about, you can just be like, "Oh, look at this! Look at all this
Look
Lego."
at this. There's a frog. There's always a frog. Why? The VIP. What is it? This VIP pirate pack has like 5 gold frogs in it.
Does it?
Why? Yeah, there's so many.
Mm,
The orchids are pink frogs. The
yeah.
bonsais pink frogs.
Yep.
Look at all these pink frogs.
Look
Yeah,
at all
exactly.
these pink frogs.
The jazz quartet back here was
Yeah.
really cool. How they make a humanoid Lego out of standard bricks.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no pun intended. I'm really jazzed to get an actual Lego drum kit. Like it was great having a golden trumpet made out of a lightsaber and a gun. I love it.
Yeah. I saw that in like a review of the set, and I was like, "Bravo, Lego! Good job." They always surprise me with their techniques. In that
It's just insane.
they build like the things that you can put together is just insane.
Well, back on the orchid flower,
Yeah,
the back petals, it's a shield and then a fork, like a
yeah,
fork. And then you use it in a Technic peg to a little claw grip to snap it into something. I was like, they used forks.
yeah,
Who thought of this? Like,
yeah,
there are so many other things you could have done than a fork and a shield. It blew my mind. I had so much fun with that build. And
yeah.
like I said on your stream earlier today, the internals of the orchid, because you make a layer and then you put one on top and you have to rotate it on the clicky clacky wheel. And
Mhm.
then you do that like 4 or 5 times. And it's like a hadron collider on the inside of there. It's crazy how
Yeah,
complex the inside of just a vase is.
yeah. It's impressive. Like today's techniques, when you buy a set, like any kind of like semi-complex set, there's just
Dude,
ridiculous amounts of technique that,
you gotta
in
get
my
the
opinion,
treehouse.
you gotta get the treehouse.
You gotta get the treehouse. It was so good. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
What do you like about it the most?
The tree trunk is so eclectic.
Hmm.
It's not like everything is just wood. It's not just like if you made a wall out of Lego, it's just a bunch of 2x4 bricks. It's
Right.
like light brown, dark brown, tan, studs, curved ones, like ones that are 2 long, one by 3 long, 4 long. It's just a whole bunch of different things
Mm-hmm.
on 8 total sides. And it's not just like it goes into the ground, it curves into the grass. There's so much to it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And each of the cabins have odd little secret things to them. So like someone has to, I can't remember who I was talking to about this. They were on my stream. I think it was Bratesque. Because there was a pair of scissors that you put under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. So Bratesque, she looked it up, and apparently it's like, I think it's an old French thing about like
Oh, I
warding
heard
off
about
fairies or
I heard
something.
about this. Yeah, I heard
Yeah, it's
about
just
this.
just every cabin has something cool about it. And then we have the picnic on the bottom, the little tiny mushrooms and the pumpkin and the little winch based basket and the brightest, clearest river I think I've ever seen in a Lego product. It's just bright blue and then clear, just clear 1x2s above it.
Yeah.
But no, just a lot of fun. It was my white whale build. Like
Yeah.
straight up, I wanted that because it's a Lego Ideas released in 2019.
Yeah.
Today is September 10th, 2022. That thing's going to be gone in 3 months, I fear. And so BC Audio and H Palindrome, they tipped me $50 each. God bless them. Just so I can get this white whale.
That's really cool.
Man.
I'm glad to just hear you like talk about building it and how excited it makes you and how fun it is. That's part of what I do love about doing Lego on stream. I mean, Lego as a product is generally fantastic. They do some things really well, and I think, it attracts, like, when people get into Lego, they get this same excitement that you do. And a lot of the people I've spoken to, where it's like, yeah, they did this really cool thing, this really amazing detail, or it was just a joy to build, right? You hear those sentences. That's part of what makes that community really interesting and fun. And when you build Lego on stream, you find that it's like, oh, like you find more people who are super into that because they want to see streamers do it too. And I was just glad to see you do it. I was glad to see you not just do it, but like really love and enjoy it. And so I'm happy. I'm happy that you were happy with your experience. So
like my Lego journey started whenever my aunt, for some holiday, I think it might be Christmas. I feel like it was too warm for that because on that same day we were playing in a pool. Don't know why we got him. I can't remember. But me and my cousin, I got the Bionicle Pohatu and he got Galley. So the stone Toa and the water Toa.
Yeah.
And these are like 30-piece Lego sets.
Yeah.
They cost like $11 or $12 at the time in 2001. And 2001? Yeah, that'd be around there.
Sounds right.
And yeah, and so ever since my aunt got me that, me and my cousin just started collecting them like crazy. Like my allowance is $7 a week. 2 weeks, I get a new Bionicle. All right, totally worth it.
That's awesome.
And so that was my start. And then high school, college, I was broke. I never got where am I going to keep Lego in college? I was in a dorm, that kind of stuff. So moved here, didn't have disposable income. Now I got a nice paying job, and I'm going to get all the Legos I want. Lego. If I say Legos, someone is going to shoot me with a bow.
No.
But Lego, singular and plural.
True. I'm glad. It makes me happy that you enjoy it. Speaking as someone who, I spent the last almost year and a half immersing myself in the community on Twitch. I'm glad to see who I consider an old friend on Twitch do the same thing and discover it. I'm to blame, admittedly. I know that I'm to blame, but
like I said, you are the main catalyst. You are the absolute snowball of my Twitch life. That's just you. It's all you.
Well, I appreciate.
I am not a paid more and more shill. He gets no money for me praising him, but he's why I'm here. This is why I'm still streaming.
Look, man, I appreciate the kind words. I don't agree that I am as impactful on it as you say, but I appreciate the kind words.
Look, when you are the one person that causes me to send cookies to someone in Virginia, like, dude.
Yeah. Well,
it's all you, man. Now I need to start sending cookies to you.
Sure. I'll take
big old triangle. I'm just gonna. Oh, I send cookies to too many people. I'm gonna have to start spacing them out. It's no longer Christmas. You're gonna get like September cookies.
I'm down for that. You talk about your schedule kind of being a bit problematic in your ability to stream more, but if you could stream regularly, what would be your vision for your channel and the things you would want to do? Would you change anything if you knew you could do this more reliably?
Honestly, no. It's kind of worked out well for me so far. Just meeting people and playing the games I want to play. So a lot of my streaming with my games is a new game releases, I play it, I beat it, I go to the next one, or I kind of stagger it. Like I said, Xenoblade 3 is so long.
Mhm.
I just started playing the Splatoon 3 campaign today, and sometimes I'm badgered by Bearded Corvus / BC Audio for a year and a half until I go back and beat Persona 5, which I'd already spent 90 hours in.
Yeah.
So back on the whole variety thing, just play everything, play what you want. I don't like sticking to the same game. Other
Yeah.
people do. I get that. I get people have audiences over that, but
Yeah.
I don't want to hate the game that I'm playing. If I do that, I would personally, I would get burned out on that.
Yeah.
Not throwing shade. Y'all play your one game. That's fine. You do your thing.
Hey,
My
I've
stream,
been
I play
there.
everything. I meet my people. I play my games. I wouldn't do anything differently than what I've already done, because what I have done thus far got me to where I was and the people I have met.
Yeah.
I would not change any of that.
Yeah. Just keep doing the same, more of the same.
Keep doing more of the same, going to more people's weddings of people you met on the internet.
There you go.
That's the dream.
Is there anyone on Twitch that you would really love to collaborate with or do some kind of stream with?
I have people I would rather like meet in person. I don't really think like I want to stream with that guy. I don't really never really thought about that. Really?
Mm-hmm. Who would you want to meet in person?
Oh, Corvus, absolutely. Bearded
Yeah.
Corvus, love that man.
Yeah.
He is the nicest human I have ever met on the planet. I'm not he's gonna discount it in the chat, but no, I love him. He has way too much heart. We got a whole bunch of Kansas City people. You come by from Colorado, we all shack up on a plane and we all go fly to Corvus.
I'm still thinking about this whole charity thing. I'm a firm believer in that. Nothing. If you want to do the thing, if you want to be a charity streamer,
the change you want to see in the world.
Hey, I know it's cliche, but
I mean, it's cliches are cliches for reasons.
If it wasn't for stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be a game designer. Honestly, my wife basically said those things to me because I was working a supervisor job for Best Buy, not knowing if I wanted what I wanted to do with my life. And I had an opportunity to like make games. It was like a long shot, but I had an opportunity. My wife's like, if you really want to do it, you should just go do it, even if you don't think you're able to.
Yeah, that's like 12 years. So how did you go from not knowing anything to senior game designer at Pipeworks?
In that time, or like to get the job, I guess.
Like, even to get the job. Like, did
Yeah.
you have any creds before that? Or did you have anything from college or anything like that? Or
I had things that helped.
we're turning the table. This is now crossing the streams, featuring more and more. Okay.
This is somewhat happened already in a crossover with Zach and Rutledge, but I'll tell the short version of the story. I had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle that enabled me to do it. And the last piece was someone legit willing to take a shot hiring me. I was modding games on my own. Like I was building like StarCraft 2 levels and mods, doing just a bunch of random custom maps as well for other RTS games. Just doing that on my own. I had a lot of classes in programming done. I started off with the thought that I wanted to become a programmer. And so I took almost 2 years worth of classes for that until I changed my major into something completely unrelated, but somewhat related, applied psychology. So I have a degree, a bachelor's of science in applied psychology. So that combination kind of helped, and a little bit of luck. So I met someone that had the in that was like, hey, have you ever thought about making games? Because I could at least get you in a room to talk to someone. Yeah, to make games. And they put in a good word. They got me the interview, and then from there it was up to me. And then I had an interview, which turned into a 10-page design test, which then turned into like a 6-hour interview at Pipeworks Studios.
And then 12 years.
And then 12 years later, I'm my official title now, which I just recently was updated to, is Associate Game Design Manager. And so
I thought it was Senior Game Design.
It was Senior Game Designer up until that change.
All right. What's that title again?
Associate Game Design Manager.
It's a lot of adjectives.
I know. That's what I said. They changed the
What
title
does that
more.
entail?
It is. I do a lot of design work still as someone who's very senior, but I also manage other designers. I mentor
So
them.
design like conceptual or not? It's not like concept art or anything like that. It's just like
So that is you are correct. There's a lot of, if you're not in the industry, you usually don't know. So a lot of people conflate.
wow.
It's true though. People have a lot of weird ideas about, like, if you say I'm a game designer, some people think, oh, you program, or some people say, oh, you do the concept art, and the answer is generally no. To
Isn't it
both
mostly
of,
like it's an on paper kind of conceptualism?
it's a if one of my favorite game designers, Liz England, found a way to really explain it, and she describes it as this: like, say you're making a game and you have a door, like the concept comes up, there's a door, everyone has their role on the team. The game designer's job and their role is to answer the question of, what does the door do? And that sounds really simple when you ask the question, right? But then you have the question of, can you open the door? Yeah, you can open the door. Okay, what
What
happens?
does that do?
How do I open the door? How does one open the door? Okay, well, this is how you open the door. Cool. What's behind the door?
Is it
Awesome.
rewarding?
Yeah, is there things that keep you from opening the door? What do you need to do? So a game designer's job is to really, we're totally taking a detour. Is to answer questions and come up with the answers to all the questions and solve design problems. So, because you're going to have the programmer who, if we take the same problem, the programmer comes in and they say, I wrote the code for the door, but I need to know what it does. The designer has to answer that. The artist will say, what's the door look like? The designer will usually say, I was thinking kind of this, but you're the artist, so let's come up with something together. So the designer is really focused on how things work, what the experience is, and what people who interact with it will experience. And
Almost sounds like a
so
producer too.
producers in the industry are more akin to project managers generally.
Okay.
So producers, I know,
Still
because
sounds like a project manager.
right in game, in especially in like AAA studios, in game dev, they kind of separate the creative aspect of the producer that you would traditionally see in movies and television. They kind of pluck a lot of the creative aspects of it out of that, and the producer is kind of in charge of like managing the team, whereas the designer, they think about, they're kind of the creative, but they're also like the hardcore, like, I'm going to tell you everything this game should do. And so that's my job. So like when Super Fight came along, they said, okay, like, we want to make a video game out of this tabletop game. How would that work? Go. And it's the designer who would have to answer that question. So I actually, they caught, here's a story for you. Here's some inside baseball for you. Like, when the premise of Super Fight came up, they're like, are you familiar with Super Fight? I'm like, yeah, I've seen Super Fight. They're like, cool. So you know it. I'm like, I mean, I played it once or twice. They're like, okay, cool. Can we turn it into a video game? I'm like, why would we turn it into a video game? Was my first question. But then I sat and, kid you not, when I had this discussion with the design director, I had Twitch open on my computer. I was watching Twitch, and then it wasn't even in the initial pitch. It wasn't even Twitch driven. It wasn't even Twitch driven, but eventually it became Twitch in integrated. But anyway, that's the short version.
It's like, I have a pitch for you. Skype, cards, yelling. Like,
But like the
it's
whole
like, I like it so.
the whole idea of turning it into kind of like a weird like video call app built in with Twitch integration and voting, that was design. That was purely design. And that was me working with engineers figuring out if it was even possible.
It's awesome.
And
That is
that's
awesome.
that's the job. But anyway, I don't want to make
That's
this
the
about
job.
me. I don't want to make this about me,
Well,
but
it's been like an hour and a half about like me. We need to pepper a bit of Amore in there.
there you go. There you go. That's
The Amore lore. More allure. Lore Amore. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry. All right,
Is there any kind of Twitch content like that you like to watch yourself?
speedruns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like right now, Oats and Goats is streaming Super Metroid, and it's one of my favorite games and one of
Yeah.
my favorite runners. And so I
Yeah.
watch a lot of speedrunning content. I watch a lot of virtual. It's technically virtual in his language, but it's a W. But he streams Trackmania. I don't
Oh yeah.
care about Trackmania. I've never played Trackmania in my life. I
Yeah.
love watching Trackmania content. I don't know why. Like,
And for those that don't know what it is, because I kind of know what it is. I played it like once, but even I couldn't really like. How do you describe that game?
so Trackmania is what the pro level is. You have a bunch of different cars, but everyone uses the Formula One car,
Yeah.
and it's basically get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. It's a racing game. It's
Yep.
probably the world's most competitive racing game because of how long it's been out. It's made by Ubisoft, made by Nadeo, who works for Ubisoft,
Mm.
and it's just the absurdity, like the shortcuts that people find or the custom tracks people make. The cup of the days, they have one called Khaki, where once a month they have Khaki cup, where it's just absurd bugs everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's just an absolute crapshoot if you
Yeah.
actually win, or it's all luck based. But no,
Yeah.
Trackmania content's awesome. I love watching, like I said earlier, with a Super Metroid, Mario 64. I used to love Ocarina of Time speedrunning
Yeah.
until the wrong warp was discovered, which just kills the fun, in my opinion.
Mm.
Where it's like, yeah, let's start the game, go to the Great Deku Tree, fight Goma, and we're in Ganon's castle. Like, all right, cool, thanks. I don't care about the rest of the game now. I like a
Right.
lot of like glitchless speedrunning, where it's just, or I like watching TASs as well too. How people can
Mm.
program the most absurd thing. Like the Celeste TAS is probably one of my most favorite things to watch. And oh, for those I don't know, TAS is a tool assisted speedrun. So what that essentially is people can pre-program inputs and then have them run it through the game. So ideally, you can have it frame perfect and past what a human is able to do. So it's a
Yeah.
tool assisted speedrun. If you ever watch Games Done Quick, sometimes they have a task block. And it's usually I forgot the guy's name that runs TaskBot. It's a little Rob, like the old Nintendo NES Rob, with his eyes just glowing and having
I
like
love
this
it.
fake controller on him.
Yeah.
And tasks are just really cool to watch because it shows what you can do in a video game past the human ability. And sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes it's terrifying. But you ever just seen with a Super Mario on the NES? I
Yeah.
think current runners like Andrew WG and Cosmic, I think they are within mere milliseconds of perfection to the current world record TAS. So speedrunning is great. I love speedrunning
So you love
content.
speedrun.
I watch a
Yeah.
lot of speedrunning content.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, speedrunners do just some amazing stuff, honestly. Like Games
Just
Done Quick is great.
encyclopedic knowledge that some of these people have for games. Like these are games that I played as a kid. Like I remember Bonesaw, whenever he was in Games Done Quick. He's now banned from Games Done Quick because he made too many jokes about Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Among exactly. Wow. No.
Wow.
But oh, wow. He's made jokes about Owen Wilson eating his car keys, and then he sicked the viewers on calling Air Canada, complaining about his flight on Games Done
Oh
Quick.
my god.
It was hilarious. It was the funniest speedrun I've ever watched, and it was Bonesaw doing Jack and Daxter for the PlayStation 2 at Games Done Quick. If you have like an hour and a half, watch it. It's phenomenal.
I'll look it up.
But it's just so many of these games I played as a kid
Mhm.
and watching them be completely destroyed. Like
Yeah.
I can barely play Mario 64 casually
Yeah.
because I'm bad at it. Also, the game is programmed terribly for its
Sure.
era. Like the camera sucks on Mario 64. I don't know how people did it. But
Yeah.
speedrunners, they got it down to an absolute frame
Yeah.
perfect science. Or
It's
sometimes
in-
half an A-press science.
It is insane to see people who just so intimately know a game like that, right? Like you have to know so much about a game to speedrun it. Like every little
I
nuance.
tried Mario Odyssey, and I was like, this is like as soon as I got good at it, people found a new skip and I couldn't do it. And it's like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's too complicated.
it's true. Like it's it's crazy. It impresses me when people, because like you said, encyclopedic knowledge of a game. Like they have to learn everything, even things that people who made the game wouldn't necessarily know, or only a few people on it would know. I made a stupid little game for the Switch a while back, but I watched a tester basically speedrun it, and that tester clearly, he had to put in all these hours testing our game, finding bugs. But watching him speedrun this game, and it was a bullet hell. Watching him just
How do you run
avoid,
a bullet hell?
he just kind of knew. He knew the patterns we designed for the most part, and I mean,
Ooh.
there's obviously an element of RNG in there.
Yeah.
So, but if things line up right, he could speedrun a level no problem, and it was amazing. And he would point out stuff. He's like, look, if you
These
stand right here,
gamers.
he'd be like, you stand right here, you will almost never get hit on this at this point of this level. I'm like, God, that's amazing.
It's like every Souls game, someone finds out the cheese strats immediately.
Yeah. I mean, and testers usually make good speedrunners, or just those kind of players, because it takes,
and like the QA folk.
We use tester and QA interchangeably at my
company.
Okay. But
in my company,
at my workplace, yeah, it's incredible to watch and see. And I totally get why it's watchable too, seeing people's ability.
You have the people that go off and say, like, you're not really playing the game, or like stuff like that. And it's very conceptual how you want to say that. Like, so I'm not a fan of the Zelda Wrong Warp. However, it's in the game and you can get to the credits. Did you beat the game? Yes. No. Who cares? Like, it's all about pushing the limits.
Yeah.
And it's about playing the game. Like, you always see people say, like, LMAO spent $60 to beat a game in 12 minutes. Like,
yeah,
I spent $60 to play the whole game casually,
to enjoy it and
slowly condense it down to become a world record holder in this one game. Like, it's an aspirational thing. It's the same thing like racing a track. You're trying to get the fastest time because it's fun. It's a risk reward sort of scenario. You got to do these strats that will either save you a bunch of time, or if you fail it, you're gonna lose a bunch of time.
Right.
And it's very fun to watch. Like, you see people pull like these clutch strats and everyone gets hyped. It's awesome.
Yeah. With everything you've done up to this point on Twitch, where do you see it going, I guess, in the next couple years? Where do you see your channel? Do you see it changing at all?
I'm going to be at 1,700 followers in 4 years.
Okay. No.
No, I mean, games are still being released. I still play games. I still do voice work, so I'm going to be on my computer. I hopefully I won't get tired of voice work. That's honestly what I really want to do in life. And my current job is hopefully a bygone thing at that point in time. But I'm never going to get tired of playing games. They're always evolving. They're always throwing out something unique there. And I'm never going to lose the community I have.
Yeah.
Because legitimately, my community's got me through some stuff. It's been a rough couple of years for me. So hopefully I don't lose them. Hopefully I never do anything to make me lose them. But in the next couple of years, I just hope it's more. I kind of just like more of the same. Like, I like what I got. If it grows, superb.
You know what you like.
I know what I like.
You know what you like. You know what you want.
I know what I'm about, son.
You know what you're about. I admire that. I think that not enough people who have streamed or done any kind of content creation have, one, even stuck to it as long as you have, but then two, have arrived necessarily at where they're happy with where they are, right? And
just a nice little plateau. Like I said, anywhere between 2 and 20. Whenever it happens, I get good raids. I got friends. I play my games. I have conversations. I interact. It's nothing more I can really ask for. Like I said, if I get more, if things grow, then good. I just don't want to have that change how I operate as a streamer.
Yeah.
I don't want to become numbers focused. because that's really mentally debilitating.
What would you say to someone who like is focused on their numbers because they want to grow?
Is this where we're doing the previous conversation where I brought up the comparison as a theft of joy?
Yeah. This is
We had
where
this
we go.
conversation on the stream earlier today. It's like, well, I can't say comparison is a theft of joy because his last guest said that. I forgot her name. I actually really liked her story of how she got into brick building. But I told one of my friends on Oslo streams, I told her that recently because she's always comparing herself to these other VTubers that she was doing. Like, comparison is the theft of joy. Like, you don't look at what you have and what someone else has because you don't know who has done what and to what effect.
Right.
And you might be setting yourself to very unrealistic expectations.
Right.
And so just as long as you keep doing you and how you do things, things are going to go how they should for you. It sounds really, white bread, milk toast, just be you. But
yeah, sure.
That's kind of how Twitch works. Twitch works either by you being yourself and growing naturally, or you get a big bonking raid from some partner that just sets your trajectory entirely different. And none of that is something that you can't count on and shouldn't count on. You shouldn't just have this ideal of one day I'll make it big because someone raids me. Like, it does help. Like, absolutely does help. Those people didn't go there for your game or your personality. They went there because they were sent there. If they stay after the raid, if they stay because of either the game you're playing, your personality, and it's good. You got yourself a new viewer. You get yourself someone that likes you, likes your content. Yeah, it does not work in the long run to constantly poke and prod yourself about what other people currently have and their viewership and stuff like that.
It's so true that, like, I think so many people, I admittedly have fallen into this.
Oh, absolutely.
So many times. I mean, it's not even that long ago, honestly. I think, especially when
sometimes you just slip and you're like, oh man.
Well, it's especially in the brick building community. What's interesting is, like, if you're like deeply involved in it and it's mostly what you do, it's a small enough community to really see what's happening.
You see and feel the ripples of see anything that happens.
Anything. So if it's like certain people like blow up, or certain people are really growing, or they're doing some killer streams for whatever reason, like if you're in the community, and it's really easy to lump yourself into that whole, hey, I'm one of the people who streams Lego on these days of the week at this time, or even like not by window of time, but by like the kind of, because you have some people who build their own stuff, mocks, or you have people who build sets or whatever. So, or some of us are Star Wars Lego. Anyway, you kind of know when, like, it's really easy because there's only a handful of people to compare.
So whenever you have someone that gets like really big in that one spot, because the brick building community is so small, is there ever a worry of like cannibalization sort of thing where everyone just kind of focuses on one person?
That is definitely, I don't think it's an apparent worry, but I think people realize it as it happens. I don't think that it's problematic, but I think people definitely know. Like I said, people know when stuff happens, right? So like,
yeah,
if there's a couple people,
the town is small enough.
Like the brick building community is like that small town where everyone knows what everyone else is doing, whether you want to or not. And like I said, I'm guilty of like knowing, like, oh man, like I am really sucking, right? Because you see, I don't look at my numbers during stream. I try not to, because
I try not to, but I can't.
You're
what
like,
do I got?
peeking.
What do I got? Oh, I got one viewer. Oh, I got one.
So but I will afterwards. I'll pull it up.
Oh, the channel analytics, the stream summary, and be like, oh, right there.
And you kind of know, right? Because even if you're not looking at the numbers, you know how active chat is.
You feel the activity of the chat.
You feel the activity of the chat. And there's so many days where I'm like, why am I still doing this? And I have to stop. I have to stop myself and be like, that's not why I do this. I don't, I didn't start streaming to chase numbers. I don't keep streaming to chase numbers. It sucks. I think, and it kind of goes back to just saying like how when you're in chat, you feel it. I think it's those days where you feel like there's not many people talking, and I feel
Yeah.
like I'm talking to myself. 95% of the time, that's when I feel it, and it gets tough. But I mean, I don't worry about cannibalization in terms of like the audience, all the streamers kind of
Yeah.
super like hyper competing with each other. But it's very clear there are like some outliers in the community who do really, really well. And I think as the brick building community grows and more people are starting to join that community, especially if they come from the place of I'm a new streamer and I want to stream Lego, they have it the roughest because they see how well the more well-known people do, and then they'll come in and they'll get a burst of attention because that's how the Lego community is.
Yeah.
Like we pick up when there's a new brick builder and we'll try to support them the best we can, but then eventually things level out and people get back to their routines. Unless you are a severe outlier, you're doing something really cool. And then those people who join, they're like, oh man, what happened? I was having 10, 15 people in my chat for a couple days or a week or two. And now either you're going to stay there and that's still okay, or you're going to go back down to two or between 2 and 5. And that's the experience for most people. And so the thing about the brick building community is it's my hope that not just the stream, like the streamers grow, but the viewers, like there's more viewers that come to it too over time to kind of help with that. And so I don't know. It's interesting.
Like on
It's
a
interesting.
side note,
Yeah.
you were talking about time of day and all that. One small bit of advice for new streamers is do not stream on major holidays. Just don't. Don't stream the day before 4th of July or on 4th of July if you're in the US. Because
Fair.
you're going to be sitting there wondering, why is no one here? And you're going to get
Fair.
really sad about it.
Yeah. Fair.
Like even if you think about okay, during the pandemic, it was a different situation. But before that, if you streamed on a Friday, even though you think that most people would be there to watch, it's not.
Oh yeah.
People are out doing things. Like
Yeah.
there is a game to play with Twitch. There's one website where you can type in a game and
Oh
it
yeah.
shows when is the highest viewership based on the day of the week and time.
Twitch Strike, I believe.
Twitch Strike, that's what it is. That was always a cool tool, honestly. I used that sometimes and it worked. But you will see very frequently that like not so much Saturdays, but Friday nights just don't have viewership nearly as much as one would think.
It dropped significantly across the board.
And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And everyone was here. The pandemic, as weird as it is to say, is the best thing that happened to streaming.
You're
Just
not
really, really awful to say.
You're not
but
wrong.
It's not wrong.
It
absolutely exploded.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kickstarted growth on a level that we hadn't seen on Twitch or any
new streamers, had new viewers.
Yeah, new streamers,
released
new
in the
viewers.
pandemic.
To some degree, the video game industry, which is completely related to Twitch, of course, but like also saw similar growth in that because the pandemic, more people were like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll play some games, right? And so.
And he also had the work from home surge. So you had a lot of game companies had more people to choose from because of being able to work from home. Because I experienced that during my job hunt. I went from hunting or going against the people that got laid off in my company in the KC area to competing against everyone in the country for remote work for anywhere.
It's crazy, dude.
Oh, you silly place.
Yeah.
With no rules, no gods, no masters. It doesn't follow anything. It's a beast of its own.
So now that you've done this whole thing where you sat with me, you talked about Twitch, you talked about like your thoughts on content creation and streaming and all that. Is there anyone that you would love to see go through this too in the future?
Oh, doing like a whole podcast interview thing?
Yeah.
Interesting. Dude, hit up LV Yeti. I'm serious. Hit
Yeah.
up LV Yeti.
Okay.
I gotta know. I gotta hear about this kid.
Okay. You want to hear
I
their
love him
story?
so much.
Noted.
I want to hear his story.
Noted.
He's such a good kid.
Yeah.
He is the happiest little dude ever.
Yeah.
So,
I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it. I want to thank you,
oh,
man.
man.
I want to thank you for hanging
Oh,
out with
thank you.
me, talking about
I don't
stream.
have like nearly as bad of. Oh no, that's pretty bad. Yeah, you can't see on the camera, but
There you go.
good thing y'all didn't see that with the cutout. But yeah, I pit stained way more than I thought I was. Man, whew, nervous.
Thanks for hanging out, dude. Thanks for
Thank
telling me
you.
your thoughts and just like giving me some info about who you are and like your thoughts on streaming and Twitch and all that good stuff and what it means to be a creator. Man,
I enjoy it.
I
I don't
love it,
intend on
dude.
stopping anytime soon.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I think it's really cool that you have such a tight knit community and people who just I think absolutely are close. Like that's one of the things I always get when I see you on stream with your chat. Like there like I legit love that. I think it's amazing and I think you need to keep doing what you're doing.
Schedule permitting, I'm gonna do what I can. Man, this job. Oh. I'm not gonna stop streaming. I'm not gonna stop, participating in my Discord and all that. I'm
Yeah.
doing everything I can to maintain that because I don't want to lose that.
All right. Well, thank you. Dylan, where can people find you, by the way?
You can find me pretty much anywhere at ManiacalZ.
Okay.
Every single bit of my socials are just ManiacalZ. And so I believe I'm going to be putting a little thing in the chat there on a link tree that has everything you could possibly want to know about me. Even has a couple of things to submit to Casting Call Club if you have voice work, questions or anything like that. It has a contact my email, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, which I need to be better on. I used to make clips every single day, but I need to get back into that.
I hope that you get to do more of the voice acting stuff, the voice work that you've been trying to do. I wish you the best.
If you have a gig, man, hit me up. I'm good.
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know. I'm superb. I'm the best you'll find.
I'm not normally one who actually is in charge of that, but I would be glad to, obviously.
So on Thursday, one of the guys that gave me my first real gig, like it's always terrifying when someone gives you a role and they have an IMDb page. He's helping me do a actual demo. It's been on and off because my work and all that, but since he's an actual a casting director and a producer, he's helped me make like an actual demo. Because I do a lot of voice work. I do a lot of audiobook and narration and audio dramas and stuff like that. Yeah. But to do anything more outside of that, I need to have like a character demo. And I have one I made a while ago, and it kind of sucks because I took existing roles I had and threw it into Audacity with some background stuff. So I just need to get that done, and hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more than I currently am, because that's honestly the dream.
I wish you the best, man. I really do. I hope to see you doing more of that over time, and I'll definitely try to toss stuff your way if I can. I got you. I believe in you, dude. Is there anything? I guess this is what I will call your last and final words that you have. Any closing dialogue for those that are listening from Dylan or ManiacalZ?
Cowboy advice: be rootin', be tootin', and by God, you better be shooting. But above all, be kind.